Hello and welcome to Culture Shark, a live stream about all things pop culture. I'm Final Monkey,
And I'm Caleb.
and today we are going to be looking at Happy Gilmore 2, the biggest movie of the year. It is getting crazy numbers on Netflix. I don't know if it's bigger than K-pop Demon Hunter, but they are definitely competing with each other. Definitely blowing away anything that's in theaters right now. Before we get started, I just want to welcome everybody to Culture Shark. We're a live stream that covers comic books, movies, TV shows,
And
uh,
Happy Gilmore.
and Happy Gilmore. And for some, most of y'all probably don't know, Caleb is my nephew. I'm his
Hmm.
uncle, and so you get a unique perspective, two different generations looking at pop culture.
Yeah.
So if you like this, hit the like button. Share, subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel as YouTube continues to change everything behind the scenes.
Yeah. I wonder how that's going to affect people.
So you did see the thing about the that AI is going to try to determine how old you are by your viewing
Yeah.
habits,
Yeah.
which is going to be crazy for me because I watch a lot of videos about movie history, comic books. I watch video game playthroughs. And then sometimes there is a 2-year-old that we watch throughout the week. He'll come here and want to watch Hot Wheels or Teletubbies or whatever, and so my viewing habits
Yeah.
are all over the place.
No,
So
yeah, it's going to be weird, especially because there are things that like you would think are for kids, but I think at this point have kind of like transcended to being for adults, like Pokemon. Um I don't
Five
think
Nights at Freddy's, yeah.
yeah. Uh but yeah, like I mean, I don't think kids are into Pokemon anymore. I think that it's all. I think at this point it's all adults now because like we're the ones that grew up.
Or action figures. Kids do not buy action figures. Adults do, but I don't know what YouTube's gonna think.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be some interesting changes to YouTube here in the very near future, and I'm sure other platforms as well. So,
Hmm. It's just
uh,
a more just the internet in general, you know.
yeah, things are rapidly changing. So, all right. So the way we do this is we will do a quick non-spoiler review, and then we will do spoilers and discuss the movie more in depth. So this is Happy Gilmore 2, which is, I guess, a is it 30-year-old sequel? It's been
Yeah.
quite a while since the first one.
To give you perspective, the first time my mom saw the original was when she was pregnant with May.
Yeah. Yeah, so it has been quite a while. And I think this was Adam Sandler's second big hit after Billy Madison. I think this was the follow up, if I recall.
I believe so. I can never remember which one came first.
So I think this was before Wedding Singer and before um, Big Daddy. So yeah, Billy Madison was definitely before Happy Gilmore. So, um, but yeah, this is was on a Netflix exclusive. Uh, there is a lot of moments in this movie where it's a lot of. You remember that time we did that thing in the first movie?
Hmm.
You'll see
Yeah.
that a lot.
Well, that's actually one of my issues. And I relatively, eh, I, I didn't hate this. Like, like it's so there for me. Um, there's the spectrum of comedy sequels, which are very difficult.
Hmm.
uh, to me, I think one of the greatest comedy sequels of all time uh, is Anchorman 2. I think that's one of the best. Just because it's one of those that like Cameron put it like this: it's got a sequelitis thing, but like in a good way because it builds upon the jokes of the first one rather than just redoing the jokes. Um, and then the worst being Zoolander 2. um, Zoolander 2 is probably one of the worst sequels I've ever seen. So this is probably somewhere in the middle. Like it's not as it, I, it's tough because okay, I'll go ahead and this is the non-spoiler review, but I'll go ahead and just say this is in the first minute. Um, Happy is down on his luck.
Let's
Uh,
not say why he's down on his luck. We'll just say he's down on his luck. We'll get into
um,
that in the
yeah,
spoilers.
yeah. Now because of all that, I gotta be honest. Like the first half hour is like a downer, and it's not funny.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a lot about an alcoholic the
yeah.
first, and alcoholism. It's it's not a, especially not the way it's portrayed here, is not a fun thing.
Uh,
Eh,
and well, then we also got so that's Happy's side, and then Shooter is another like I told Cameron I was like, dude, this is like a psychological thriller, like a psychological drama. What is going on here?
Yeah,
Uh,
so I'll say this about the movie. I think it's a solid mediocre comedy. Like it's not like laugh out loud funny. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but I don't think it's a bad movie either. I think it's just a solid kind of forgettable comedy that has some silly moments in it. I think there is another so I'd give like a 7 out of 10 maybe. But I think if you're a fan of PGA and you really live in that world, then maybe it's an 8 out of 10, because there's another layer to this movie that I wasn't quite getting, because there's so many references
yeah,
to actual PGA players, and it wasn't till near the end of the movie I was like, oh wait, wasn't that the guy that got arrested in Louisville trying
yeah,
to? And
yeah,
then it clicked. I was like, oh, now those jokes make sense.
yes,
So
yeah. It's
if you
Scheffler.
don't know that, you're
Yeah,
missing out on a lot of jokes in the movie. So there's a lot of real world golf jokes in this
yep.
movie. So
That's the thing. So you know what this really reminded me of? This kind of reminded me of Shrek 2, where like Shrek 2, I have not seen Shrek 2 in about 15 years.
mhm.
Um, and uh, even as a kid, I remember it being really funny. But I'm like, there's so many references to like that culture that I'm like, I don't know if it'll be funny nowadays because I mean that time has passed, and I feel like that's what's happening here because like, I mean, this isn't. It's really weird to talk about this, but towards the 25th minute mark or something like that, uh, the waiter, uh, who Bad Bunny hates. Remember him?
Mhm.
Do you know who that is?
I looked it up. But I can't. I've already forgotten.
Oh,
It's
that was Travis Kelsey.
yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of like sports people in this movie. There's a lot
Yeah,
of football players and basketball players and stuff in this movie. It's very strange. It's a
yeah,
lot of like Happy Gilmore, not Billy Madison. Good lord, Adam Sandler's friends in
yeah.
this movie. It feels like.
Yes, yes. Well, I mean, and that's kind of what you got me saying it. That's kind of what Adam Sandler does. Is I mean,
Hmm.
the Grown Ups movies are just him making a movie while going on vacation with his friends to like the lake.
And I
Uh,
don't blame him, where he knows that people are gonna. watch these movies, and he knows he's going to get millions of dollars for it, and he's got all these former Silent Live friends that aren't doing anything. Absolutely, give them a job, give them a
Yeah.
role, give them something to do.
Um, I will say, which by the way, that does remind me of of a joke from Brooklyn Nine Nine. So Adam Sandler guest starred in an episode of Brooklyn Nine Nine
Hmm.
where he was dressed like Happy Gilmore, but he was at like an auction for like this fancy uh uh like art and stuff like that. And so Jake Peralta's up there. He's like, Adam Sandler, why are you here? He's like, yeah, I like fine things. I'm a serious guy sometimes. I'm writing a movie about the Russian Revolution. He's like, oh yeah, who's Kevin James playing? He's like, ha ha, it's a serious movie. Trotsky. Like,
Yeah.
which by the way, to give, I think this is an easier way because like this is a movie that's hard for me to like give like a number as far as like oh, this is a 7 out of 10, this is an 8 out of 10. This is really difficult for me. I will say in comparing it to modern Adam Sandler movies, I don't know if this is better than either of the Grown Ups movies.
Okay.
But
I haven't seen those. I can't comment on that. I will say um this movie kind of goes through phases. The first third, he's like down on his luck, and
mhm.
then the middle phase is the montage moments of him getting his life back together, getting back into golf. And then the last third of the movie, there's this wild tonal shift where it gets very silly and over the top.
Yeah,
And it is jarring when it happens, but then also I was kind of like, well, the last part of Billy Madison's pretty silly too, but when you compare it to Happy Gilmore 1, it is quite it's like also you're in a different movie.
yeah. So I think we can go ahead and say that's our non-spoiler review because there are some things I want to talk about. I would say if you are if you like if you like Happy Gilmore and if you like Adam Sandler movies, you probably already saw this, because you're like me.
Yeah, I watched it with my family. My family loved it. I was, since I was reviewing, I was a little bit more critical of it, but they really enjoyed it.
So
Um,
for me it was a little different.
mhm,
I I'm I'm actually not I'm not happy with my viewing experience
mhm,
because we were gonna watch it, me, Cameron, like mom and dad, we were all gonna watch it on Friday, and then uh Nana and Papa ended up coming over, which I love seeing my Nana and Papa, but we didn't end up turning it on. And so I'm like, well, I mean, I still gotta watch it. We're talking about it, so I got to watch this one by myself,
mhm.
and that is, I would recommend not doing that. I would
Yeah,
never recommend watching a comedy by yourself, anyways. That's just not the way to do it.
yeah. One more comment before you switch to spoiler review. This also is an interesting take on the sequel. This could have very well been a sequel, like I don't know, like Apollo or Creed 2, where it's like Happy Gilmore's son versus Shooter McGavin's son, or it could have
Mhm.
been some type of Happy versus Shooter rematch or something. That's not what this is.
Yeah,
So it was an interesting take they did. They kind of swung for the fences, and the results are interesting. So that's
yeah.
all right. Let's get into spoiler land here. I'll
Okay.
say we called it. We called it months ago when we saw the trailer for this movie. So his wife is killed off quite early
Yeah.
on in the movie.
First 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I wanted to say. So the reason why I think this is kind of it almost plays like a psychological thriller is because at random times it will just jarringly cut to a quote from the previous movie,
Hmm.
and like it's a flashback, but it's so jarring and it's so weird because like it definitely I don't know, it just it like it like the flashbacks feel weird, and then whenever he's in his happy place at the beginning talking to Virginia, but then
Hmm.
she's also in the background in slow motion.
Hmm.
Like it's one of those things that's like I can't tell if this is trying to be funny. That's honestly how
Well, I think it's kind of.
that's the first 30 minutes is I can't tell
I,
if this is trying to be funny.
I think there's two things going on. One, the last movie was so long ago, they don't trust the audience to remember things unless we got to show them on screen what it was instead of just having stuff happening and then people going, oh, yeah, that's so and so's son. That makes sense. Or
There's a there's a lot of that.
we've got to show him because we don't trust the audience to remember who this character was. And I think if you cut those little flashbacks out, the movie would still be fine. It doesn't. You don't need those.
You know what, the movie would be a decent length at that point.
uh, the other thing was I felt like it was kind of funny seeing a female's perspective of his um, happy place, and
Hmm.
so with her critiquing it, and all this stuff, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Um, that yeah, that was really. He's like, "What? Your happy place is me in lingerie with beer."
Yeah.
um, there's one thing that's kind of jarring, and I'll be honest, this is kind of going to be just me rambling. I don't have any like hard hitting analysis for this one. Um, but one thing I thought was funny is so his daughter, which
Hmm.
we'll talk about that real quick. The reason that he's getting back into the game is because his daughter's apparently a prodigy ballerina.
Hmm.
And so, in order to send her to this prestigious ballerina college in Paris, he needs $300,000. Um, and so that's what he's doing. His daughter is played by his daughter.
Hmm.
uh,
And the trainer is played by his wife, and the other girl is also played by his daughter. There's like a
right.
bunch of people
Yes.
in this movie that he's related to.
Yeah.
So,
But that's the weird thing because like I think his daughter looks more like her mother, which whenever it's like, oh, this is supposed to be Virginia's daughter, but she looks more like the ballerina teacher. It's I don't know. It's just something that and it's like don't think too much into it, but no, yeah, that's definitely where my mind went. I will say there were some characters that came back that I thought was like, yeah, that's kind of egregious. The one guy that I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny that he came back was um, Blondie.
and that's not the same actor. That's an actual golfer that's playing.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it's not the same actor. Yeah. Um, so let's talk real quick about the other golfers. I thought this movie uses a lot of PGA actual golfers in this movie and they don't have minor parts. They have big parts in the movie, and I did not have a problem with any of their acting. Unlike
No,
Space Jam, where the acting is terrible from the basketball players, except for Michael
yeah,
Jordan, they were all great in this film. So
I
I will give
it,
them big ups for that because this could
yeah.
have been a very different
Well,
experience.
and that's the thing. Like so, this is like he's going on vacation with his family and then a bunch of golfers. That's um, and who else? Who else was? I'm saving Shooter. I'm saving
Yeah.
Shooter. Um,
So John Daly, I was not familiar with this person, and
oh, you didn't know John Daly?
so about halfway through, I look up and go, "Oh, he's an actual golfer. Wait a second, what?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and and I think is he the one that like there's like memes of him like wearing outrageous outfits and stuff like on the
yeah,
golf course. So
yeah,
okay, so that's what I thought it was. So and he's fine in this movie. He's pretty
yeah,
funny in this movie, and I like the running joke of nobody being able to do math in the movie. Like his sons and
yeah.
John Daly, none of them could do math. I thought that was very funny. Another fun cameo, and he's not in it long, but I love John Lovitz. I think he is
It was so
so
funny.
funny. Cuss you, Gilmore.
Oh man,
Him being at the range and Happy keep hitting his ball over and over and just out of
yeah.
nowhere. Very funny.
I think some of my favorites were the three that he was accompanying.
Mm,
So there we had it was Eric Andre, who
mhm.
I love Eric Andre.
Mhm.
Margaret Qualley, who I love Margaret Qualley, and Martin Hurley. Now, Martin Hurley is the one who people probably know the least. Like, you probably don't even know his name, but he's on SNL currently. He is part of the trio Please Don't Destroy on YouTube.
That's
Uh,
who he is. Okay.
yes,
I
yes,
knew I'd seen him from somewhere.
yeah.
Okay. Yep,
And
yep,
I
yep.
and I love, like, other than Weekend Update, Please Don't Destroy is my favorite thing on SNL right now. I love those three; they're hilarious.
Mhm.
So I was a big fan of that scene just because I'm like, oh my gosh, I love all three of these people. Yes, please. um, but yeah, I was a big fan of that scene, even though like they were just kind of in the movie, they really didn't get to play to any of their strengths. I will say that, but that's just me, being like, hey, I like these three actors when they do comedy, but unfortunately, this isn't their movie, so they're not going to get to do their form of comedy.
Right.
like, you're not going to get Eric. The only thing that like I could have seen is if Eric Andre and Happy Gilmore got into a fist fight. I could have seen that happening.
I did like where it ended with the car wreck at the or the golf cart wreck at the end. That did make me laugh.
Oh no, so here's the thing. There's actually a lot of this that kind of reminds me of Zoolander. The plot point of accidentally killing your wife and and having to take care of your kid. Uh, that's the plot of Zoolander 2. So that kind of reminded me of Zoolander 2. But then that golf cart scene also reminded me of the freak gasoline fight accident from the first Zoolander.
Yeah. Yes. Uh, I know we're not going to talk about Shooter just yet, but they do have a fight in a graveyard, and the graveyard is every single person from the first movie that died.
Yep,
I thought that was hilarious. That
yep,
every tomb just happened to be
yep.
somebody. Um, yeah, my son brought up a good point. This movie's plot is basically the plot of Cars 3, and I thought that was pretty accurate and pretty funny, where all the former cars are retiring and they're bringing in a new hip version of NASCAR or whatever. I thought that was
Okay, okay. So I've never seen Cars 3, so I didn't catch
yeah,
that.
it's
But
not it's not bad. But, I mean, it's not a hip version of NASCAR, but like a more high tech car. All the high cars are more high tech now, and
yeah,
so he's coming out for one last race against them all and all this. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's very similar ideas. So the bad guys. There is a bad guy. What was his name?
Frank Manatee.
Right, Manatee, played by Benny Softy, who I'm not familiar with, but he
Yeah,
is
he's
starting.
kind of a
Yeah, good.
newer.
Yeah, he is starting Maxi Golf, which was a funny name, and I did like when it showed it at the end when they flipped over to it, and the two announcers were now wearing like outrageous coats and stuff.
Yeah.
That I thought that was a great joke. Um, and the whole movie, he is trying to get recruit Happy Gilmore to this, and Happy keeps turning him down because he likes the PGA, he likes his friends there, even though he's not currently golfing. Um, and so it's kind of almost like golf mixed with like Ninja Warrior.
Yes.
It-
Well, no, you know what it is? It's kind of like so do you remember like the final scene of Happy Gilmore where he
uh,
has to like where he has to, make the putt through the obstacle course because of the
Yes.
crash. It's like if that was the whole course.
Yes.
And I kind of like that because it's like it's like he was a kid and he saw Happy play and he saw all the. That's another thing they go into. They go into the fact that the reason Happy was so good at golf is just because he has plot armor. Um, like like the bird taking a like
Right.
pooping on the ball. And so it's like he saw Happy play and was like, you know what? I'm gonna make that. That's the point. That is the point uh, of the whole of the whole league now.
Right. And so the other big baddie is Haley Joel Osment,
Haley Joel
which
Osment.
I love Haley Joel Osment, always have. And he only pops up in the movie towards the end. Like about halfway point he shows up. And I thought maybe the movie would have been helped if he had been in it a little earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how, but I think that
Well, I think so. So Haley Joel Osment, he's been popping up a lot lately.
mhm.
Um, he plays a really good villain. I've seen him in quite a few movies recently where he's playing a villain, and he's really good.
Mhm. I've seen a lot of Adult Swim stuff, and it's really weird. So, um, but yeah, and one of the big plot twists is that they are doing surgeries on these golfers to make them more flexible, so they can hit the ball
Yeah.
further.
Which what I think is funny is so the surgery is kind of in their pelvis,
Mm,
um, and it just proves Chubb's right.
right. It's
It's
all in the
all
hips.
in the hips. It's all.
Yep.
I'm just trying to ease the tension. We'll go ease it on someone else.
Um, and I'll say this: I was watching this movie with my family, so my wife was very angry the first 45 minutes of this movie that they killed off Virginia, and I think some people are gonna have that reaction.
Probably, yeah,
We, like we said, we called it. We were emotionally kind of prepared.
yeah, yeah.
So it is shocking when it happens because it's very fast. And
I think it's weird that uh, Julie Bowen is like second billing and she's on all the press tours, and I'm like, girl, you're not in this movie.
well, I'm sure that was part of her deal for coming back. I want to be second billing, and you know, and she said, I'm so glad they didn't replace me with like a hotter younger actress or whatever. And I'm sure she's getting to see her friends again and stuff, and that she hasn't worked with and blah blah blah. So I get it.
hmm
Um, Shooter is also not in this movie very much. We'll get to Shooter in a minute.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's talk about Hal L. Um, I,
Yeah. I like when Ben Stiller plays villains. He's great in Heavyweights and
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball and the first Happy Gilmore movie. So
So one thing that I didn't realize. So apparently Ben Stiller plays this character again in Hubie Halloween from 2020.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So but the thing is he's a different. Uh, 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 Adam Sandler plays a different character.
Right.
Uh, and but it's this, but he's the same character. I think they make a joke about like, oh yeah, you remind me of somebody. Uh, so I think this is actually the third in a trilogy. It's weird.
Well, I like when movies kind of have like a shared universe, so that's fine. Um, so
Oh my god, it's the Adam Sandler the Happy Madison cinematic universe.
yeah, like you could argue that what's his name? The he was playing the neighbor that kept
Steve
uh
Buscemi,
Steve Buscemi. Thank you. You could argue that's the same character from Billy
Billy Madison.
Madison.
That's true. That's true.
um,
I think he's also in like He's on either 50 First Dates or Mr. Deeds too, and he's just a weird guy in those.
Yeah, so I think the movie has a mix of a lot of old jokes, but there's also new jokes in there. I won't say like the whole movie is just, oh, remember we did this. I think
Uh,
Bad Bunny's got some funny jokes. His
Bad Bunny's
character,
great. Uh, Seeing Bad Bunny in this, I'm like, I don't know if I would have wanted your Spider-Man movie, but I like you. You're funny.
yeah, I wouldn't have, maybe we're too quick to judge. Uh, yeah, he's pretty funny
Yeah.
in this, and I
I
did like the. Um, we'll go ahead and talk about Bad Bunny, and then I'll switch
yeah.
the subject. Go ahead.
Oh well, no, I was gonna say I think one of my favorite bits. We're just talking about in general funny bits.
Mm.
Was Gary Potter uh interviewing Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
he's like, so we're out here on the green. You're about to play some golf. Is there a question here? And like, it's just the most awkward interview.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Um, I was going to mention there's two groups I got to talk about. The kids, I think the brothers are all pretty funny. I mean, it's the
Yes.
same joke over and over and over, but it's they're pretty funny.
Yeah, and they
Um,
they they act like hockey is genetics.
we thought that the final putt at the end, he was going to do the thing with the club between his legs, like his kids have been doing the whole movie, the
Uh,
humping motion and all that. We thought he
yeah.
was going to do that somehow to hit the ball in or something. Um, and then the other group, the kind of the rival evil golfers at the end, the guy just called Screech and he doesn't understand it. It's a Saved by the Bell reference. It's pretty funny.
That's really, yeah, that is really funny.
So I mean,
Uh,
there are generally funny jokes in this. It's just a lot of, like I said, member
yeah.
berries and
Uh, we also have a lot of so you mentioned that this is not like a Creed situation where it's like the children going up against each other. There are children of characters because those actors have passed.
hmm
Um, and so let's talk about Jackass.
yes, let's
So Joe Flaherty played
the great Joe Flattery has sadly passed. Yes.
and so he was the heckler in the first movie who just kept calling Happy Jackass. Donald Sr. is the character's name. And so his son is in the movie, played by Marshall Mathers,
Yes.
Eminem. I was like, what is going on?
And then when he gets thrown in the water with all the alligators, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"We've had our first fatality." And Post Malone's like, "All right, yeah." It's just
It's like, man, it's so funny because like Eminem's actually Eminem's actually a really good actor. And
yeah,
I love 8 Mile, and he's like so hard in 8 Mile,
yeah.
and then he's got this. It kind of reminds me. Do you remember the Franco movie, The Interview?
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's the one. It's the one with. So it's James Franco and Seth Rogen. They're going to interview.
Oh yes, yes, yes. The Kim Jong Un
Yeah,
whatever movie.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay.
Did you ever see the Eminem scene?
No, no.
So there's a scene where he's interviewing Eminem, and they're like, they start reading off his lyrics, and they're like, he's like, whenever you mention about you know uh, sucking this man's blah, 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 blah. What did you mean by that? And he's like, well, I think that's it's pretty obvious. I'm gay. And they're like, wait, what? And so like it becomes this big thing, and this is like his big story before the Kim Jong Un thing is Eminem is gay. He's like, yeah, yeah. If you go back and look at all my lyrics, I'm obviously gay. um, no, that's what I love about Eminem is he did like he one of the greatest rappers, and definitely had a very interesting life, but still doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah, self-deprecating humor. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
always fun.
And then there was another one because what was his name? Jaws. Um, Richard Keel, is that his name?
I think so.
Yeah, Richard Keel played uh what did Shooter call him? Bigfoot or something like that.
Yeti or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he has also passed. So they got a Serbian basketball player to play his son, and I don't know what it is. I think he looks dead up like Richard Keel. It's really
He
funny.
does. Yeah. And
Uh,
then the mom is so short. It's
yeah.
hilarious.
Oh man, it's you know what? It's one of those things that like yeah, you know what? I gave my spiel at the beginning. I feel like I need to give this another watch with my family because just talking about it, I'm like, you know what? This is really funny. Don't watch a comedy by yourself.
Yeah, that's why I gave it. I said it was a solid. I went. Yeah, I did call it mediocre, but it's solid enough. It, if they remove the flashbacks and just let the
Yeah,
reference to the previous movie just lie, just they're there. If you know what that means, great. If not, oh, too bad. Go watch the first
yeah.
one. you know.
I think because they recast Blondie,
Mm.
that one was probably necessary because I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
That one was probably necessary, but the rest of them, not so much. I do think it's weird that like we're dealing with Happy like having two deaths because so this takes place 11 years after he accidentally kills Virginia, and 15 years after Grandma dies. And we don't really bring up Grandma except for
I think there was like 2 moments. They mention our house a lot, but
yeah, and that was one thing that that initially put me off. Um, like for me, and I don't know what this says about me. Him accidentally killing Virginia was not the thing that put me off. It was the fact that he lost Grandma's house because that was the point.
the catalyst of the first movie.
Yeah, that was the point of the first movie. So, um, yeah,
One other character, Esteban, Oscar's cousin.
yes,
Buddy, another Saturday Night Live
yeah.
actor.
At first I thought that would. I'm trying to remember what, because he plays a character that's kind of like that. What is his name? He's always obsessed with Sabrina Carpenter.
Got me. I don't watch enough of current Saturday Night Lives. I don't know.
He's got a funny name. Let's see. What is that? Is it this guy? Yeah. Okay. Marcelo Hernandez is the name of the actor, and he plays Domingo. That's what it is. So I was kind of upset with that because I thought he was just playing Domingo, and I thought that would have been hilarious if he was just playing his character from Saturday Night Live.
Right.
But of the modern cast, I think he is one of that's actually funny. He's kind of the new. I always call him the Jimmy Fallon. Like he's not necessarily hot, but he's so funny that it kind of makes him hot. It's kind of like it was Jimmy Fallon, and then it was Pete Davidson, and now it's this guy. Like that's the way I see it. I think as far as characters go, I mean, is there only one left?
I was trying to think. I think we've covered pretty much everybody. I think it's shooter time.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, one more. Chubbs's son.
Yeah, Chubbs's son.
who has a prosthetic hand due to a vending machine accident.
His arms ridiculously long.
Yeah.
They're not even trying. It's just
Oh my god, it's oh man.
yeah.
I remember they said that that they actually had more planned for Chubbs had Carl Weathers not passed. So that's unfortunate.
Hmm.
Um, maybe he would have been in the happy place too.
That would make sense. I also want to point out the final scene of the movie, which is reference to the first movie where he looks up at the people who pass in the sky, and it's just so crowded.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's
true.
pretty funny.
Yeah,
All right, I think it's shooter time. I
it,
can't think of
it
anything else.
it's shooter time.
I'm
I
a huge fan of Chris McDonald, and I'm so glad he came back for
yeah.
this.
Uh, did you ever see? Do you remember Pete Holmes's Batman stuff that he did for College Humor?
Yes,
Uh,
Batman. Yes, yes.
yeah. Do you remember Christopher McDonald's joke in that?
I do not.
Oh man, it was great. It was great because they actually got Christopher McDonald to do it.
Uh,
Um, so it was the one where it was Scarecrow, and he gave him the fear toxin. And he's like, Girl Scouts, bats, squiggly light bulbs, stuff like that.
mhm.
And they're like, what else? He's like, are you really afraid of that? He's like, Christopher McDonald. And then Christopher McDonald comes up like, hey, Batman, how's it going? And then he says, Goose McKenzie, you keep your distance. He's like, Goose McKenzie, it's going way back. Most people know me for Shooter McGavin, but thanks for knowing my work. It's great. He's also Harry Stifler in the American Pie series. Did you ever see the superhero movie with Drake
Yeah,
Bell?
that's what I was about to bring up. He's the Osborn character, right? In that,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The Hourglass, I think, is what his name was.
right.
Um, but yeah, I think that Christopher McDonald's hilarious. One thing before we get into the actual shooter character that I want to
Hmm.
bring up that I think is really funny. Did you notice what book he was reading? That he was, he had,
Yes.
so I don't know if this they had to. There's no way that this was an accident, right? So this is about the catalyst of this movie is Happy's drinking problem.
Hmm.
And The Shining is
Oh,
The Shining is about Stephen King's drinking problem.
right.
I'm like, there's no way that was an accident. So I lied. I lied. There is a little bit of analysis and meta commentary that I can bring to Happy Gilmore too. I loved Christopher McDonald, like just him being in the asylum. Do you know what it really reminded me of?
What was that?
It reminded me of Jeffrey Rush as Casanova Frankenstein and Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I don't know if there is any other way that I would do Shooter McGavin the way they did it in this movie. I think if there's the best part of this movie, I think it's him.
Yeah, and him trying to train the golfers and point out their mistakes and everything. It's
Hmm.
very funny.
And like, if you were to see Happy Gilmore, what would you do? Well, I'd avoid him as much as possible. What if you saw him, like, let's say on the golf course? I'd probably wave, give him a nod. That's always good. What if he was wearing a gold jacket? I would take a pillowcase and fill it with golf balls and beat him down. Like, oh my god, he is so great. And you know what it is? You mentioned something really funny because you made the Creed
Hmm.
the Creed reference. It's almost like this is Rocky 3.
That it felt like Rocky Balboa to me, where it's like his Adrian passed away from cancer, and him
Yeah.
like, I've got one more fight in me and stuff, and so I saw what they were going for, and I because I asked myself, how would you do a sequel to Happy Gilmore? And I don't know if I would have went this route. And it's a challenging route to go to kill off one of the main beloved characters and then make this like an emotional movie. I don't think it gets as serious as something like Click did, you know.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So I did. It was touching at the end where his happy place now is his wife and kids cheering for him.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that was a great scene.
I,
So
I I think his original New Happy Place is like, even as a 28-year-old, it's kind of relatable. you know,
yeah,
just watching TV on the toilet, watching my phone on the toilet, my cholesterol being low and fitting into a medium. That's. I was like, me too, man, me too. And then, of course, Bad Bunny's Happy Place was also hilarious.
yeah,
um, yeah, I will say it's such a strange movie because they don't really make movies like, as far as cinematography goes. You know what I mean?
hmm
Um, and so, like, they don't necessarily make movies the way they did in the '90s with like Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. Um, and there's something about it that's weird because, like, you go from like Top Gun to Top Gun Maverick, decades apart, but it's still kind of like, even with the cinematography thing, it still feels like a sequel,
hmm
or stuff like that. This movie is shot so differently from the
hmm
first one. Um, like, this movie is in widescreen,
hmm
and it feels weird.
yeah,
Uh, so
yeah. So like I said, I thought it was a solid movie. I don't know if it's as good as the first one.
I
We're
don't.
liking it more as we discuss it. We're
Yes,
both
yes.
noticing, but uh, yeah, and like I said, my family loved it. So it is a little emotional, and the first third of the movie is,
It's very jarring.
yeah. But stick with it. I think it's a lot of fun, and let's throw a bonus question out here before we leave. Any other Adam Sandler movies you think deserve a sequel?
Oh, okay. I
Like I
mean,
like I wouldn't do Click. Click I think is
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Um, you know what? Getting Dylan or Cole Sprouse back for a Big Daddy 2.
I was about to say that Big Daddy
Yeah,
2 would make sense.
yeah. Um, Billy Madison 2 would kind of be like a happy, almost like a Happy Gilmore 2, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Now we're gonna kill off Veronica in the first minute.
No. I you well, because that's another one where it's like Chris Farley's passed, McDonald has passed. I don't know if I want a sequel. You know,
Yeah.
now when I was starting thinking about that one, I'm like, there's too many people have passed from this one.
Um,
Wedding Singer 2 could be interesting. Well, but that's an 80s. Mm. Yeah, how you do
uh,
that? And don't set it in the 80s. That's
yeah.
unless he's like in the modern age and he's still stuck in the 80s.
I could see that probably.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of some other ones. I think recently, you know what? The Cobbler too.
I've not seen the Cobbler yet. I think you told me about that movie, but
The Cobbler is insane. It is the most boring movie ever, but then it goes from 0 to 60 in about 40 seconds before the movie ends. It's insane. A lot of the more recent uh Adam Sandler movies, I think, kind of like work on their own. Like, there's um, you got, like, I really enjoyed Just Go With It, the one with Jennifer Aniston.
hmm
Um, Blended, I like that one, but that one's kind of on its own as well. Um, Maybe Pixels too.
I think I've got the answer.
Okay.
Airheads 2.
Airheads too. You know what? With Spinal Tap coming out. Oh man. I mean that you know what? Brendan Fraser is on his up and up phase, so
Yeah, why
that'd
not?
be that'd be hilarious. Um, who you know what? But is you know what? There, I'm looking at the cast for Airheads. I think you can only get those three back because
With the in the one guy, the guy that's on Criminal Minds, he's still around.
yeah, I was looking more at Chris Farley and Michael Richards.
Well, well, Michael Richards, I think it's been long enough that you could bring him back. He's done other stuff since that incident, so um, but yeah, let us know in the comments what Adam Sandler movies you'd like to see a sequel to. I'm sure they'll do another Hotel Transylvania here before you know it. So
I'm honestly surprised he hasn't gone another Vacation for Grown Ups 3.
yeah, I think it's probably time for that. So um, Little Nicky too. um,
Little Nicky 2 would have been perfect in 2012 whenever the world was ending.
right. um, so that's it for our Happy Gilmore 2 discussion. Next week we got a huge show. It's gonna be
Yeah.
K-pop versus J-pop as we look at K-pop Demon Hunters and One Piece Red,
I
two animated musicals that are both have great soundtracks, but are both very different movies.
yeah,
I'll tell you
yeah.
that one of them is great and one of them is pretty good.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
You'll find
uh,
out next week.
you find out. I've seen K-pop Demon Hunters like 4 times. It'll be 5 times before our next show. So
hmm I've seen it through once, and then I've watched several people react to the songs or react to the movie
mm,
on YouTube. So
yeah,
yeah, I've probably seen it well over 4 times also now at this point.
but yeah. So for me, I'm not a One Piece guy. This will be like. Not only will this be like, oh, how good is this One Piece movie? It's like, how does this stand for someone who doesn't watch One Piece?
So, question: are you going to watch it in Japanese or in English? The
I
songs are in Japanese, I believe. I
I
don't know.
was gonna ask you that because I don't know what
I
is.
watched it in Japanese. I prefer the Japanese cast, the One Piece cast, so that's how I'd probably listen to it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I'm not a strict sub or dub guy. Like it just like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I watch in sub. My Hero Academia, I watch in dub. Dragon Ball, I can watch either.
hmm
Cowboy Bebop and Lazarus, I gotta watch dub. Full Metal, I'm watching in sub, and I'm watching Neon Genesis Evangelion in sub. So I'm all over the place when it comes to preferences, dub or sub. So we shall see. If you watch sub, I'll probably watch sub.
Yeah, I think I would with this since the music's in Japanese. So cool. That will be next week. I think that'll be a big show for us. And then again, if you like this, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends. And until next time, I've been Final Monkey.
And I'm Caleb.
Catch you next time in the deep end.
See ya.